Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, everyone. So today is our lesson from Contact International School. So it's simplifying of trigonometric expressions. Also proving the trigonometric identities. So please pay your attention to our given example. If alpha and beta and gamma equals to p or to 180 degrees, so we may say that alpha and beta and gamma are the angles of triangle. So prove that the sum of sinuses of these three angles equal to 4 cosine half of alpha, the production of cosines of these half of these three angles. So let's start to prove. In order to prove, what should we do? Let's do and transform or change the sum of these two functions, sinus alpha and sinus beta, into beta into multiplication into products. So we know that sinus alpha plus sinus beta equals to 2 sinus of alpha plus beta, half the sum of these two angles, and the cosine of half of the difference between of two angles. So we simply use and apply this formula, and we have, instead of sinus alpha plus sinus beta, I will write 2 sinus alpha plus beta over 2 half cosine of half of difference of this alpha and beta. Let me correct. So we should use x and y. Also we should use alpha and beta, and there is no difference. Alpha minus beta over 2, and then I write the other term, and it is sine of gamma. So we have, from the given condition, I find that alpha plus beta sum is equal to p minus gamma. So instead of alpha plus beta, I have to write 2 sinus p minus gamma over 2 cosine of alpha and minus beta over 2 plus sine of gamma. And then I have to use the reduction formula. To this purpose, I may write 2 sine of p over 2 minus gamma over 2 half of gamma, and cosine of alpha minus beta over 2 plus, instead of sine of gamma, I may use the double angle formula, sine of double angle formula. Sine 2 alpha equals to what? 2 sine of alpha cosine of alpha. So I may write, instead of sine of alpha, 2 sine of gamma. 2 sine of gamma over 2 times 2 cosine of gamma over 2. So what do I have here? And also according to reduction formula, I know that sine of p over 2 minus alpha is always equal to cosine of alpha. So from here I may write 2 cosine of gamma over 2 and cosine of alpha minus beta over 2 and plus 2 sine of instead of gamma I may use gamma. Our gamma equals to p minus alpha plus beta. So I will write 2 sine of p minus alpha plus beta over 2 cosine of gamma over 2. And I may factorize this expression and find 2 cosine of, because cosine of gamma over 2 and cosine of gamma over 2 are the common factor. So I have cosine of alpha minus beta over 2 plus, instead of sine p minus the sum of alpha and beta over 2, I may write according to this formula, reduction formula, I may write cosine of alpha plus beta over 2. So once more I may use the sum of cosines. So according to this formula, cosine of x, let it be x, plus cosine of y. Cosine of what? Y. It's equal to cosine of x plus y over 2 and cosine of x minus y over 2. So I have 2 cosine of gamma over 2 multiplied to 2 cosine of, instead of x we have whole this angle, alpha minus beta over 2 plus alpha plus beta over 2 divided in 2. Also we have cosine of what, alpha minus beta over 2 minus alpha plus beta over 2. We divide it into 2. So we have 4 cosine of gamma over 2. From here cosine of, then we sum these two fractions in the numerator of our fractions, minus beta and plus beta equals to 0. So we have 2 alpha over 2, which is equal to alpha over 2. And cosine of this fraction also, when we subtract alpha minus alpha equals to 0, and minus beta minus 2 beta over 2. So 2 and 2 we reduce, and we have cosine of minus beta over 2, minus beta over 2. But we know that cosine is even function. So cosine of minus x is always equal to cosine of x. As I said, it's because cosine is even function, function. So instead of cosine minus beta over 2, I may write cosine beta over 2. So what I have 4 multiplied cosine alpha over 2 multiplied to what? Cosine beta over 2 and multiplied to what? Cosine gamma over 2. which was accepted from